because the next match was the Owen Hart tournament match with Satoshi Kojima versus CM Punk. And as we mentioned, I think maybe they flipped a coin and said, okay, heads gets first, tails gets second. We're going to Tony. But you had again in Toronto, and this time with an actual big crowd, not like they had the other night with the TV taping they shoehorned in, but the original show they actually announced was 13 or 14,000 people. And when they hear, like Mussolini, they went out of their fucking minds in both directions. And again, now they've ended up where their biggest star is now, again, the most popular and most unpopular guy in the company. Because now he gets more heel reaction than MJF does, because while everybody enjoys booing MJF because he is a fabulous heel, the little buckaroo fans really are booing Punk because they hate him because he beat up their heroes. And the people that love Punk are trying to conversely out yell and out cheer and out chant or whatever those assholes. So, and Toronto as well, but you couldn't hear the music practically. And they could have had my vocals on Cult of Meat with Extra Cheese. Nobody would have noticed. It was so loud.
And let's be honest, it wasn't as much a mixed reaction as it was more anti-Punk than pro-Punk here.
Well, yes, and also because the boos are the loudest, but also they're in Toronto, and one of the group that Punk turned away with fucking, their hat in their hand and their dick in their hand was Twinkle Toes, who's from Canada, and they loved him here. And there's a lot of soft little buckaroos in Toronto, apparently. But that's the thing. And then Kojima, by process of elimination, became the fucking babyface. So Punk went with it because he was loving it. He's making a big fucking check regardless of what they do, and he's doing his shit, and it's getting more reaction than anybody in the company again. And so in this one, Punk put Kojima's stuff over. So he leaned into being a heel and subtly switched to put himself in the heel position without kicking somebody in the balls or gouging eyes, but selling a little bit more on an exchange or coming out at the worst end of the exchange, specifically to keep the thing moving, keep it entertaining, and give people what they wanted fucking see. And I mean, for the most part, Punk was keeping it entertaining. Again, Kojima's, and then he made the comeback, and I guess, is he the one that Kingston got it from that does the ridiculous fake fast chops in the corner? That's so ridiculous and childish.
No, I think he got it probably, if I had to guess, originally from Kenta Kobashi, because he was doing it in the 90s.
But this guy does it too. And this guy did it too. And at one point, Punk finally just put his hand up and shoved him off and said, all right, that's a fucking enough. It's so ridiculous looking. How can you be a grown man and want to do that? And I can't imagine a grown man would want to take it. It's just...
This whole show, there were way too many chops, way too many people standing there letting the other... Too many matches. I mean, if you're going to do it one time on a show, which they do it so often, it's probably too much right now. How many matches had that spot?
Well, this wasn't even the you hit me, I'll hit you spot. We'll fucking eviscerate that later on. This was that thing where it's so ridiculous where he's slapping the guy's chest with one hand and slapping his belly with the other hand and just do it. You're not even making contact. And it just makes the guy that's having to stand there look like an idiot. Phony fucking bullshit. Anyway, so Kojima goes up to the top rope and more or less fell off the top rope with an elbow drop right in Punk's nuts. And that's what they said. Kojima is a 31-year veteran. And I'm like, how the fuck old is this fucking guy now? Do they have young wrestlers in Japan these days?
They do. Takeshita. There's a young wrestler from Japan.
He's not in Japan these days. What are they doing on the New Japan cards? Is it like goddamn chaos at the rest home? Do they have a fucking hover round to get him to the ring and then a fucking Stairmaster lift to get him up in the ring?
Well, it's a long process. You have to be trained. You have to teach you all the submission holds. They have to really grueling techniques to stretch your neck and everything. And then they send you to Sassoon and you get your hair done and you're ready.
How come all the young guys that were working for Inoki and Baba in the 80s didn't look crippled? They looked like they were the baddest athletes on the planet. And they didn't fucking sissy slap each other. Anyway, Punk took back over and went to the top. The crowd booed like crazy. And he glorified in it and then hit a nice elbow off the top. And then he got the Anaconda Vice, but old Kojima fought out and started with the Mongolian chops. Which again, oh my God. But Punk was selling him great with the fucking body language. And then they did a false finish. And then Punk went for the lariat. Or no, the other guy went for the lariat or something. But Punk hit the kick and a go to sleep, a 1, 2, 3. And he did the best he could, just like MJF did. He got all that they could get out of these guys. You know, you can't deny that people like the idea of seeing these people more than if they'd have just been honest about what they were seeing, it was a different fucking vision.
You may be right, but I actually thought this was a great match. I really got into it. I thought Punk's facials are the most underrated thing about his game because you believe everything he's going through in the match.
Yeah, he's reacting to everything.
It's great. And that crowd reaction, I'm a major mark for crowds going nuts like that. And I don't know if that's going to go away, and there's going to be different towns where it's different, and it's going to create a unique energy you're going to want to see and hear every single week. Punk played into it perfectly. He knew what he was walking into.
Oh, yeah.
And he dealt with it perfectly, and he delivered a fantastic match, I thought.
Well,
I really like this match. I'm not as down on Kojima, especially this performance here, as you are.
I rated Punk's effort 5 stars. Well, Kojima was the best of a bad situation, as Mama Cornette used to say. Here, but again, the goofy chops and just the other, and just, goddamn, they all do the same shit. We're going to see, this was the first time we saw some of it that night, but we're going to see more of it and more and more. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I can't handle no more of it. Old Anderson, if you move. All right.